jumping on the Benavidez because he's got it. I mean, imagine. I mean, it's Canelo, right? So he could say, "Okay, I'll fight you," but then there's the hydration clause as well. And now, how much worse would that make that for Benavidez, knowing that he's coming down from 175 to make
No,
to
totally.
Canelo? Let's do Canelo Munguia, and then we'll get to anyway. So what'd you think? I mean, you kind of predicted what was going to happen.
Hey,
You know,
look, it was a great fight. It was fun. We knew Munguia, and we talked about Munguia and Freddie knowing that they had to let it go, and man, he let his hands go. You know, and he showed his inexperience, and that's why he got caught with that beautiful counter shot, that uppercut right there when he was wide open. But man, what a chin! You know, Canelo's a legit puncher. So, the kid ate it. He jumped right up. You know what I mean? And he fought tough. He did the best he could. And you know, a lot of this guy's defensive insufficiencies are made up for by his activity. And man, he let his hands go. So I think Canelo. Once the knockdown happened, Canelo kind of got the feel for him. um, he did what we thought he may do, and that was, kind of dictate things and, kind of, box comfortably to that decision. So, but I think you're going to see a lot. I mean, uh, Jaime Munguia is going to learn so much from that, and like I said, just looking at the way he conducted himself and how he went through the fire. Canelo took him to deep waters. He was hurt. He had been down, but the guy never stopped. He was there. He was there all 12 rounds. But
he
man,
definitely came to
Canelo,
win.
he came to win, man. He came to win, and he gave Canelo a hell of a fight. You know what I mean? So, and Canelo, man, he just looks so sharp. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So sharp, and he's gonna be tough to beat.
Oh yeah. Well, I had Munguia winning the first 3 rounds, and I was really
Right?
surprised because did you notice when Canelo the first and then the second round when he was going over to his corner, he kind of looked shell shocked. Like he was like, "Okay, I got to figure this. I got to figure this out."
Well,
And
yeah, he knew
then,
he had a young, strong guy in front of him,
yeah,
and Munguia wasn't going to be intimidated. So he got in there and let his hands go. And but Canelo, he's so controlled, and I mean, I think he didn't take a stool the whole fight. He was back there. He was having a workout, and he's so comfortable in there, man. And he really did. He got hit a couple times. He felt the young bull coming, but man, he just he was able to control him, and he took over the tempo of the fight. There really wasn't much that Munguia could do, but you
yeah.
know, just he did his best. But Canelo is definitely on another level right now.
And I thought that Munguia, out of all the fights that I've seen him, I thought he looked his best against Canelo. I really did. Like he was sharp.
Very sharp,
He
confident.
looked ready for the fight, and I'm convinced that he could have beaten anybody that night except for Canelo. All right, because
Right. I mean,
how many
hey,
guys can
look,
yeah. No, I was going to say how many
yeah,
guys.
just like the whole moment of it. You know what I mean? And the just how just huge the event was, and it was
Yeah,
all new. I mean, what's Munguia? 26 years old, 27.
27. He just had his birthday, so he's
I
27 years
mean,
old. He's
yeah.
young.
So, oh, he's young, and but he'll be fun to watch going forward as well.
He's not
So I
even
think
yeah, I mean, he's not even touching his prime yet. So I mean, he's probably on the edge of coming into his prime. So I would say you give him one, he's going to learn a hell of a lot from that fight, which is probably going to advance him going into his prime. But you figure he's probably got another year, maybe another 2 fights before he finally gets everything working and he hits that sweet spot. Maybe 29 years old.
right. Well, you'd
Where
be
he's
surprised. He may see a whole different guy. Um, on the next one. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, he's going to learn so much from this fight. And he's, I was impressed, but I was really impressed with Canelo as well. So he's just so in tune right now, and he loves what he does.
Yeah.
And he's just, man, he's fun to watch because he makes it look so easy.
What do you think the possibility of that this was a little bit of a tune-up for a Benavidez because their styles are very similar in terms of their aggressive nature, and Canelo being able to see someone young, strong, aggressive,
Right.
and being able to get out there at that level, because obviously they're sparring, but when you're in there and you're getting a guy's 100% and you're able to work through that, there's always that build up. You're looking for your next fight and the possibility.
Well, Benavidez, he's about to fight, if I'm not mistaken, for the light heavyweight championship. He's moving up.
Yeah.
Um, I think for him to move up and then move back down to 168 to fight Canelo would be a disaster.
Well, see,
So if
that's what
that,
I think Canelo's. That's why they would be considering it because you think about it, he's going up, and then okay, you're gonna. What do they fight in June? They
I
Or is it
think I
July?
believe so, June or
Okay,
July.
so he
I'm not
fights in
sure.
June. They negotiate a big payday, so Benavidez can't say no, and then he's got to come back down and wait by September.
I
Like,
think that would be disastrous for him. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
let's see what they do. I mean, you may be looking at Canelo and Bud Crawford.
true.
The Saudis and Turkey Al Sheikh have changed the game, and now he's talking about making that fight. And like I said, Crawford's got coming up in August. He's moving up to 154 with Magomedov, which is not an easy fight
I
either.
was gonna
So
say that's not an
that's
easy
gonna tell
fight.
us a lot too.
Yeah, yeah,
But I say if that's a different fight to talk about at a different time. But
right.
I say if Bud Crawford gets through that and takes that guy out, then I mean, if he wants to go fight Canelo at 168 pounds or some type of catch weight, which I don't see Canelo going below 168, then why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
For
mean,
both guys, who's left for Canelo?
yeah, outside
Besides
of Benavidez,
Benavidez?
there's nobody. I mean,
No,
they would have because really to fight to fight Crawford, there's nothing in it for him. You would have to
right.
because if he beats him, oh, you're supposed to beat him.
Well,
If
I
he
mean,
loses,
if Turkey pays him $50 million, there's $50 million in it for him.
oh well, see, that was the thing.
Whatever the deal is.
I was thinking because he said 150. He just threw that number out there for Benavidez, 150 million to fight Benavidez,
Yeah,
right?
so why not take that or a little bit less than that to fight a guy coming up, 3 weight classes, 4 weight classes, and when money talks, and that's why we do this. So,
Right.
and it would be an intriguing fight. You know what I mean?
Oh, it'd be massive. And then they're talking
It,
about doing it here in the States, not over
yeah,
there. So it
right.
would be the
So it would be great. It's a great thing about it. I mean, that's where the position Canelo's put himself in, and looks like the position that Bud Crawford's looking to put himself in as well. So, you know, um, I think it would be a hell of a fight if it happened. You know what I mean? It's a
I
tall ask
still
for Crawford because Canelo is the bigger man as far as like, not height wise, but just been bigger, been in a heavier weight. So,
yeah.
and
And a
legit
lot
been
of
in there with
people
light heavyweights. So that'd be tough.
like with Crawford, he may look big in the ring, but he's not a big guy. Like he's not a big 150 pounder, 154. He wasn't even a big 147 pounder. He's just not a big guy. So
Right.
I mean, he may be the same height, or he's probably a little taller than. No, he's probably about the same height as Canelo.
I'm not sure.
But Canelo's much thicker because he's been at that weight for a lot longer.
Right.
Just Crawford's not a big guy, so you have to imagine that his power wouldn't carry over that many weight classes. But his skill set obviously is on another level. And
That's what we're going to be interested to see when he fights in August. At 154. I think he will carry his power up there. I'm seeing. He's above. Obviously, he's knocked out his last 14, 15 opponents or something like that.
yeah, it's crazy.
And so you could imagine he'll carry that to 54. 60, 68, it's different. You wear 10-ounce gloves, and that's another thing. He's wearing 10-ounce gloves in this fight,
Yeah.
for the first time. So we'll see how it translates. You never know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see, who. But Canelo wise, yeah, I just think Canelo can sit back and make his own calls. So but yeah, for me, there's really no other fight out there, other than Bud Crawford, probably. That's the most intriguing.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
especially
Benavidez
if Bud
doesn't have
wins
an
that
easy
title at
fight.
154.
Benavidez doesn't have an easy fight either. So, and
Right.
he,
Well, yeah, I mean that obviously given Benavidez, but like I said, I wouldn't. Benavidez is such a big dude, and he's getting older. For him to sat back down to 168 after going up to doing the camp or so at 75, it could really hurt him and wouldn't be at his best.
no,
But
no, and
who
that's why
knows?
if the money isn't right for Crawford, I could see him jumping on the Benavidez because he's got it. I mean, imagine. I mean, it's Canelo, right? So he could say, "Okay, I'll fight you," but then there's the hydration clause as well. And now, how much worse would that make that for Benavidez, knowing that he's coming down from 175 to make?
No, totally. Yeah, it'd be so tough. I mean, we saw it with Roy Jones going from heavyweight back to light heavyweight. It just wasn't the same. And